Recent Bob Woodward interviews with Donald Trump showed us that he knew all along just how deadly this virus really was. Now this video is going to cover a couple things. First, I'll show how Trump knew all along how deadly this virus was, while also publicly stating the exact opposite. Then we will show a recent press conference where Trump lies about the lies he made.
It goes through air, Bob. That's always tougher than the touch. You just breathe the air, and that's how it's passed. And so that's a very tricky one. That's a very delicate one. It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus. This is deadly stuff.
3 days later, he was saying this publicly.
You know, in theory, when it gets a little warmer, it miraculously goes away. I hope that's true.
And this on February 26th.
You know, you do certain things that you do when you have the flu. I mean, view this the same as the flu. I really think, Doctor, you want to treat this like you treat the flu, right?
We lose thousands and thousands of people a year to the flu. We don't turn the country off. We lose much more than that to automobile accidents. We didn't call up the automobile companies to say, stop making cars. We don't want any cars anymore.
On March 19th, in another taped conversation with Woodward, admitting he was deliberately downplaying the danger.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't want to create a panic. This is more deadly. This is 5 per, this is 5% versus 1% and less than 1%.
We show cases, 99% of which are totally harmless.
Trump also helped spread the lie that this virus was only deadly towards old people, despite him being on record of saying that it was also deadly for young people.
Not just older.
Yeah, exactly.
Young people, to plenty of young people.
Young people are almost immune to this disease.
Here's Trump attempting to answer questions on all of this.
These were a series of phone calls that we had, mostly phone calls. And Bob Woodward is somebody that I respect just from hearing the name for many, many years, not knowing too much about his work, not caring about his work.
He's a historical journalist that reported on the Watergate scandal, which led to Nixon's removal from office. You didn't even look into that? Why are you bragging about ignorance?
Why did you lie to the American people, and why should we trust what you have to say now?
Such a terrible question, and the phraseology.
Say what?
Phraseology? Trump just threw that one up in the air and crossed his fingers. Every time Trump uses a word with more than 2 syllables, it sounds like he just got it from his word of the day chart.
I didn't lie. What I said is we have to be calm, we can't be panicked.
Come on, Donald. When he asked you why you lied to the American people, you could have just been honest.
Why? 'Cause fuck them, that's why.
And your question, the way you phrase that is such a disgrace. It's a disgrace to ABC television network. It's a disgrace to your employer. And that's the answer. You ready?
Trump says, and that's the answer, after he rambles for a long time, not providing a single answer.
Of course I didn't. Of course I didn't.
Was deadlier than the flu, and then you went out and told the American public that this was just like the flu.
Let me tell you something.
You told
We've had
Woodward
flu
one thing and you
years.
told everybody else something else.
No, and 5 times, right? 5 times. You ever hear the expression 5 times?
No, I haven't, Donnie, because you just made that up. 5 times. That's not an expression. Those are just 2 words. You got a little cocky after phraseology accidentally was a word, and now you're just making up expressions.
So we've had flu years where we lost 100,000 people.
Then, after Trump asks one of the experts, he corrects his math, saying it's not 100,000, but rather 35 to 80,000 deaths per year.
Well, I mean, the last 5 years have been something like 35 to 80,000 per year, every year.
The flu is a very serious problem for this country also. But just so you...
This is worse than the most deadlier than the most strenuous flu.
Okay.
And then you went out and said it's just like the flu.
What I went out and said is very simple. I want to show a level of confidence, and I want to show strength as a leader, and I want to show that our country is going to be fine one way or the other. Whether we lose one person, we shouldn't lose any, because this shouldn't have happened. This is China's fault. This is nobody's fault but China. China should not have allowed it to happen.
It's interesting how, in the same breath, Trump blames China for not telling the world how deadly the virus was early on, and also explains how he thought that it was best to downplay how deadly the virus was early early on.
There was no lie here. What we're doing is we're leading, and we're leading in a proper way. And if, frankly, somebody else was leading it, they wouldn't have closed it.
Why does Trump always compare the job that he's doing as president to people who are not president?
If you look at Nancy Pelosi, you look at Cuomo, you look at de Blasio, you look at Biden.
You look at people who are not the president of the United States.
Months later, they said there's no problem. They're talking about me.
Not true. None of them have been on record of saying there is no problem. You just made that up on the spot.
And it's always a serious problem. That doesn't mean I'm going to jump up and down in the air and start saying people are going to die, people are going to die. No, I'm not going to do that. We're going to get through this, and we're right now, I hope, really think we're rounding the final turn.
The final turn? In what? Trump isn't in good enough shape for us to trust any of his sports metaphors. Studies have shown and predicted a more than double death count of the coronavirus by 2021.
We possibly have done the best jobs.
Best jobs? Compared to who? The U.S. has done a worse job of handling the coronavirus compared to almost every single developed country in the entire world.
Mr. President, you talked about the need to stay calm and not jump up and down and scare people. A lot of other world leaders were calm. German Chancellor Angela Merkel was very calm as she presented information to the German people so that they could stay safe and protect their families. So why, as you as President of the United States, did you not level with the American people? Did you not share the information that you knew at the time?
And if you look at the European Union right now, they're having breakouts like you've never seen before. And frankly, their numbers are at a level that are much worse than the numbers here.
False. 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 A Newsweek article from August 12th shows that Europe had around 3,860 confirmed cases per 1 million people, compared to that of the United States, who have 15,105 confirmed cases per 1 million people. That means the United States is doing almost 5 times worse than Europe.
We're going to have vaccines very soon, maybe much sooner than you think. Listen, maybe much sooner than you think.
What the fuck does that mean, Orange Man? Maybe much sooner than you think has to be one of the most nothing sentences I've ever heard.
You knew this was a deadly virus. You knew it was airborne. You knew on February 7th, you told Bob Woodward how it transferred from person to person in the air, how deadly it was. Why did you not come to the podium and calmly
Well, let me ask you this.
people
If
what
Bob
happened?
Woodward thought that was bad, because this is stuff that everyone knew, if Bob Woodward thought what I said was bad, then he should have immediately, right after I said it, gone out to the authorities so they can prepare and let him know.
But Bob Woodward isn't the president.
It was bad.
Woodward is
The
not the
only one that
president.
said it was
Yeah, like he said.
It was a series of taped interviews, mostly by telephone. Quick ones, not long ones, quick ones. And I did it out of curiosity because I do have respect and I want to see. I wonder whether or not somebody like that can write good.
Write good? You don't talk good.
I don't think he can, but let's see what happens. Yeah,
After this, Trump rambles for a very long time, essentially running the clock out because he just gets up and leaves after that. However, feel free to check out the whole thing yourself if you're bored and you want to throw up in your mouth a little bit. But personally, this was all I could take. Special shout out to Bugs Apparel for this great cat shirt. Look at it. It's cats, but it looks like it's ice cream. It's fantastic. Check out Bugs. They got plenty of other cool designs, tons of them, so check them out yourself.
Thank you for watching, and check out my Patreon page where you can find exclusive content updated regularly. And find me at Jeff Horste on YouTube and all social media.
Come on, Donald. When he asked you why you lied to the American people, you could have just been honest.
Why? 'Cause fuck them, that's why.